First at 4, she's the highest-ranking Biden official to test positive for COVID. What we know about the health of the vice president and her last contact with the president. This shocking crash caught on camera in Roseville was the start of a confusing confrontation that ended up with Roseville police shooting a man. And here's Paul.
Well, Storm Tracker 4 is showing some spotty shower activity. A lot of us not getting it, but what we're watching for tonight, and it's a real possibility, are some snowflakes. We will have the latest for you straight ahead.
Growtown and Motown, you can't pull anything over on these kids. While learning about gardening today, they got some curveballs.
Who's going to look out their window and see pterodactyls in their garden? Oh, wait, yeah, we decided that wasn't right.
We'll sit in as the seed is planted that they can feed themselves and others.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
And a happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm Jason Colderp, and for Karen, who's on assignment today. Vice President Kamala Harris has tested positive for COVID-19. The White House says President Biden is not considered a close contact and hasn't seen the vice president since April 18th. Vice President Harris is vaxxed, double boosted, and is not experiencing any symptoms. She is quarantining and working out of the vice president's residence. A wild series of events leads to police officers shooting and killing a man in Roseville today. Here's what police are telling us about this. It started with that crash around 6:30 this morning. The security video showing the impact on Groesbeck. This is near 12 Mile Road. When officers got there, the driver of the pickup had a knife in his hand and would not put it down. Officers shot and killed 53-year-old Frank Robles. Police do not know why the man didn't comply. The driver of the semi, a 65-year-old man, was not hurt. 2 officers who have not been named are on paid leave while the Macomb County Sheriff's Department now picks up this investigation. And while police were investigating that shooting, other officers were called to a car accident near Roseville Middle School. Police say a 7th grade girl was hit crossing Martin Road east of Groesbeck. She was rushed to the hospital and needed surgery. The middle school put out a notice about a serious accident. The school also made counselors available. The 21-year-old driver from Detroit did stop, and as of now, police do not think speed or alcohol played a part. Ford is already promising to power up production of the all-electric F-150 Lightning pickup. The promise comes as Ford officially begins production of the new truck at its factory in Dearborn. Ford now plans to boost production to 150,000 units in the next year or so, way more than the initial target of 40,000. If you're tempted, and I know you are just looking at it, well, the Lightning starts just under $40,000 with a standard battery, good for 230 miles. Business editor Rod Maloney went for a ride in one of those trucks today. Tonight at 5, he tells us all about it and what this means for the auto industry. All right, another cool down. It's April. Who knows what we're about to get? 80 one day, 40 the next, but we all have our eyes on the rest of the week. Let's bring in Paul, who's also tracking some snow, Paul.
I'll tell you, that's our true April in the D, Jason, you know, from literally 80 to snow in just a couple of days. Right now, Storm Tracker 4 is really not showing a whole lot going on. There might be a spotty sprinkle here in the area. I mean, really, any scattered showers are right now along the I-69 corridor, so we'll talk more about that coming up in a few minutes. But right now, it's all rain. We're going to be watching tonight. It's not going to be for some folks. All right, 4-zone weather here. We have 46 degrees at City Airport, 45 at Metro, 44 over at Livonia, 42 in Canton, 45 in West Bloomfield. Down in our south zone, it's all like 43, 44 degrees. Adrian, you're at 41 degrees. In our west zone, 40 at Whitmore Lake, only 40 degrees, 44 in Milford. And in our north zone, we're looking at, look at this, 30s in the thumb. It's only in the 30s up there. This is April. So temperatures continuing to fall through the evening hours with rain showers mixing with some snow and then changing over. We'll talk about who has the best prospects for the snow in just 2 minutes, Jason.
All right, Paul. Russia continues to pound targets in eastern and southern Ukraine, often focusing on infrastructure targets like railways and bridges. The goal seems to be stopping supplies and new weapons from reaching Ukrainian forces. Right now, Kimberly's in the newsroom following some of the diplomatic moves of the day. Hey, Kim.
That's right. Hi. Good afternoon, Jason. So we'll start with some really brazen comments from Russia's foreign minister. Today, he warned the risk of a nuclear war between Russia and the West is now, quote, considerable. He says NATO is essentially having a proxy war with Russia when it sends military weapons to Ukraine. Those comments come as the Secretary General of the United Nations met with a foreign minister in Moscow today. It was another attempt to convince Russia to reach some kind of ceasefire with Ukraine and to allow humanitarian assistance into the most war-torn areas, I should say, of the country. Excuse me. Late today, the UN says President Vladimir Putin has agreed in principle to the evacuation of civilians from a besieged steel plant in the city of Mariupol. Meanwhile, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin was in Germany meeting with officials from 40 countries to keep military and humanitarian aid flowing to Ukraine. He says they have to keep the weapons moving at, quote, the speed of war to help the Ukrainians fight off Russian troops. Austin also had this to say about those Russian comments on the chances of nuclear war. Listen.
I think this any bluster about the use of possibility of use of nuclear weapons is very dangerous and unhelpful. Nobody wants to see a nuclear war. Nobody can win that. And as we do things and as we take actions, we're always mindful of making sure that we have the right balance and that we're taking the right approach.
So, Jason, there are so many storylines to cover in this war. Our coverage will continue tonight at 5:30 during Local 4 News at 5. Until then, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, we'll see you then, Kim. Thanks. The United States Supreme Court taking up a key issue at the border, the so-called Remain in Mexico policy, which started during the Trump presidency. A few justices seem to be questioning lower court orders that blocked the Biden administration from ending the policy. It forces people seeking asylum in the U.S. to wait in Mexico for their hearings. President Biden suspended the program on the first day in office. Texas and Missouri sued and courts reinstated it. Those forced to wait in Mexico say they were terrified in Mexican border cities and struggled to find lawyers to handle their hearings. A decision is expected by late June. Well, how about a little something to make you smile on a Tuesday afternoon? It starts inside a classroom where seeds are being sown early for a love of gardening. Paula Tutman picks up the story from there with these 5-year-olds who are learning where food really comes from.
You know what, not always, but sometimes there is a bit of a disconnect with children on where their food actually comes from.
Miss Jackie said I'm going to be on news.
You are going to be on the news, and that's why the Young Five is the perfect little human to learn that they have the power to grow food, to share food, and to actually make a difference.
Birdies have 2 feet.
Take Luke.
But I don't even have a garden.
Yet somehow he knows his favorite bird.
It's a whittling blackboard.
And how cool is it that a story about Lola and her garden gets to hit a home run with a little girl in the class named Lola?
I like to play with the worms.
You like to play with the worms? I love to play with the worms too. They're so good for the earth, aren't they? Worms are awesome, aren't they? High five right there on worms. Kids know stuff.
Chickens cannot fly. And they're very clumsy birds.
And when you know stuff, you can grow stuff.
Who's going to look out their window and see pterodactyls in their garden? Oh, wait, yeah, we decided that wasn't right.
So, Max Kid Cuteness at Monteith Elementary School in Grosse Pointe in Ms. Michelle Bockert's Young Fives class as Growtown hits the circuit. This is all just in time to get kids revved up about planting.
Growtown is a multimedia children's endeavor. So through original music and original videos and community gardening initiatives, we're seeking to instill a sense of gratitude and wonderment for the world outside our windows and the communities in which we reside, to really connect children back to the communities that are raising them.
Danielle is a parent of twins who comes from farm folk. And so on much of her own time, she develops programming for public libraries, schools, and basically anyone who's interested in literally planting the kinds of seeds that yield big bounties beyond the obvious.
And the things that kids are naturally drawn to, outside, growing stuff, digging in the dirt.
With her Growtown project, each child takes home a packet of seeds.
We're carrot twins! So I go to Bordines and Great Lakes Ace Hardware and I say, you know all those seeds at the end of the season, all that Swiss chard and all those honey nut squash that you didn't get rid of? Do you have them? Because I would like to pass them along to some willing gardeners exploring their burgeoning love of growing stuff.
They get to find their own power to grow while they grow.
They go home and they sing these songs that she was singing, and it kind of like brings it home, and they go home and they sing these songs, and the parents hopefully will pick up from there and plant those seeds and learn about this for the rest of their lives.
Paula Tutman, Local 4.
Fantastic story, Paula. Thank you. And by the way, if you want to know more about GrowTown, we're putting a link on our social media platform so you can hear the songs, the podcasts, and even download free coloring pages for your kids. How about that? Much more to come on the 4, starting with the disturbing number of anti-Semitic incidents across America and the connection to the state of Michigan. Plus, this mother talks about a heartbreaking phone call she wouldn't wish on anyone, what went through her mind, and how she's fighting back. But we're right back with new developments in a bizarre kidnapping case. The crime took just moments while the baby boy's grandmother was doing something any of us might do.